Hello, everybody. I was about to say Joe Clone, but today I am Joe Mando. Um, Hello, everybody. Joe Mando here, and today we will be reviewing all of my Lego Mandalorian minifigures. Hence why I've changed my name to Joe Mando. But it's only temporary. But this is going to be a very awesome review video here because Mandalorians are very awesome Star Wars characters, and they've only gained traction over the years ever since Boba Fett was first introduced into the Star Wars universe. And they're some of my favorite Star Wars characters and Lego minifigures. So, as you know, let's get into it. Okay, considering what I just said, to begin this review, I'm going to be breaking down all of my Lego Boba Fett minifigures. And I know you go, that guy's Boba Fett over there? Yes, he is. He is a custom figure that I created, and I'll get into that in just a moment. But, like I said, Boba Fett is the first Mandalorian we ever see in Star Wars, and he really sparked a craze for the characters, as now we have so many Mandalorians and so much Mandalorian content in the Star Wars universe, as seen in the Clone Wars TV series and obviously the new Mandalorian live action TV series. So he's really the guy who started it all. And with that being said, let's go over Boba Fett here. Now, this is the Boba Fett from the 2012 Slave 1 set, which in my opinion is the best Boba Fett Slave 1 Lego set that Lego has ever made. But it's really insane. I think the first Boba Fett figure came out in 2005, and there's been so many versions of him over the years, like so many different versions of this figure. And I'm just glad to have at least 3 of them. But with that being said, no arm printing, but the fantastic cape under the jetpack. I give all my Mandalorian samurai swords. I don't know why, I just love how they look with them. Great printing on the helmet. I love the dent still there and all the wear on his helmet. I gave him this. This is a custom burgundy light to match his face mask. Great leg printing on this one. And the head is the smiling stubble printed head version of Boba Fett. And this is just a great figure. I also gave him a Halo gun because I just had it laying around. And that's one thing, I don't like the guns that Lego gives Boba Fett. So I think it's cool that I gave him this gun because he just looks so badass. But this is a great Boba Fett figure, obviously has the jetpack, but even like the little cape and everything, great figure. The leg printing is awesome. The printing all over this figure is awesome, even on the face. And this is just an iconic Boba Fett. And I'm just super glad to have him because I used to be obsessed with him as a little kid. Ever since I first saw Empire Strikes Back, where he first appeared. And he's really the reason why I started liking clones, because obviously, as we know, clones are just clones of Boba Fett's father, technically father, but Jango Fett, who was a Mandalorian. So all clones have sort of Mandalorian DNA in them. And as we find out in the Mandalorian series, Jango Fett is one of the original foundlings of Mandalore. So awesome fact. I might be a little off on that, but look up the clip of him fighting Bo-Katan's girl in the bar there in that episode. That iconic Mandalorian episode, but I'm rambling again. I just really love this figure because, like I said, it just is an iconic looking Boba Fett Lego minifigure, and there's been many different iterations of him over the years. So very cool. And with that being said, he's from 2012. This Boba Fett figure was from the 2010 Sarlacc pit set, and I know you go, wait, that was from the set? No, I customized this figure because when I was a kid, I had two Boba Fetts, obviously, so I was like, I'll make one his dark, evil twin, so that's what I did. And honestly, this is one of the best custom figures I ever made as a little kid because I somehow kept the red face mask and all of the silverware, even the dent I kept on his helmet. Like, what was I on? He looks so good. He almost looks like Gar Saxon, the Gar Saxon minifigure that Lego made. I also blacked out his armor there. Still maintained the little, I guess, the little braid there. What was I on, guys? I gave him a gray jetpack, obviously, because his outfit is gray and black and red. And I also colored the cape, which just looks so awesome. But yeah, this was sort of my his evil twin, and then they eventually team up and he becomes good and he rolls with the Mandalorian crew that I have now. This is actually from the Lego Atlantis sets. I just made it black right there because I think it just looks cool with the red trident. It sort of just matches his entire look. And same exact head as the other one. That's why I call him the evil twin. But like I said, he becomes good in the end. And just a badass custom Boba Fett figure. Obviously, no one has this one, so very special to me, this figure. One of my best custom figures I made as a little kid. And I still love him to this day. Moving on, this is actually my favorite official Lego Boba Fett minifigure of all time. The newest one from, or I shouldn't say newest, but one of the newer ones. This is from the Microfighter, which I actually did an awesome alternate build on that Microfighter and got an awesome heavy speeder out of it. So I might do a review. It wasn't mine, so that's why. But I thought I'd just mention that. But the figure is so good. And I know this is here. I'll explain this in a second. But let's just look at the figure. The printing on him is amazing. He has all the scars from, obviously, him escaping the Sarlacc pit. Even on the back of the head, it's just, this is an amazing figure. And this is my favorite official Lego Boba Fett figure because I love the black robes under the armor. Sort of like how he looks in the Mandalorian show. It's my favorite Boba Fett outfit that he ever wears. Because just look at the black. It just looks so cool. And the printing is fantastic. As you can see on the back here, it's just awesome. The arms on the side, like, look at that. The little silver and the red. The red's kind of shiny, too. Like, even on this side, the mythosaur symbol there. So cool. With the little grappling hook. Like, oh my god, this is my favorite. Even the leg printing is fantastic. How the black robes go down to the legs. And even toe printing. This is a fantastic printed minifigure. But you say, what's with the helmet? I actually don't like the helmet they gave him. It's a lighter green than this helmet. It doesn't match at all. So I actually had an old Boba Fett keychain, and I just ripped the helmet off, which it doesn't look that bad at all. And this is the OG Boba Fett helmet that Lego first made when they first made him, because the jetpack is attached. But I just think it looks literally so perfect. It matches perfectly with him, and he's the Boba Fett who escaped the Sarlacc pit, so technically he is the OG Boba Fett. I just love how he looks like that. And I'm so happy I kept the keychain helmet because I eventually ended up having a use for it. Just look how cool he looks like that. This is my favorite. These three are like my favorite Boba Fett figures ever. Obviously, one is custom, and this one has a custom helmet. But all right, let's say these two are my favorite Lego Boba Fett minifigures ever. I just love how they look. This one is my favorite official Lego Boba Fett minifigure, like I said, and my custom helmet just completes the entire look. But that is all of my Lego Boba Fett minifigures, so let's move on to some other Mandalorian minifigures. Okay, moving on to some more popular named Mandalorian characters in Star Wars. We have Din Djarin, who was a child of the Watch, and we have Bo-Katan Kryze of House Kryze, who is leader of the Night Owls. And what can I say? These are. I said in past videos I don't have any new Mandalorian minifigures, and I got gifted the Spider Tank set, thankfully. So I ended up getting 2 new Mandalorian minifigures, and I gotta say, they are. I think they're some of Lego's best Lego Star Wars minifigures ever. Because let's break them down. Let's start with Din Djarin here. Just look at the printing. It's really like you even got the little symbol there. Like, that is so cool. There's back printing under the jetpack. I'm not going to lift it up because it's just annoying to do. Just look at the torso printing. It's so detailed. Like, Lego did such a good job with these figures. They did not stiff them, the details at all. A great printed head. They made the helmet so much nicer in this set. I saw like some of the first Mando helmets of these Din Djarin Lego minifigures were a little whack, but this one is just so good looking. Like, look at that. That is awesome. And it's all printed. Like, that's what I mean. Like, Lego really could do a great job. They could do this on all of their minifigures, but I'm just glad they did it for these. Even like the different colors, like, these are just awesome Lego minifigures. I'm so happy to have gotten them recently, but that is Din Djarin. He obviously has the Darksaber, which I'm so glad that they made this Darksaber piece because it looks so much better than the first iteration of it. But he just looks so cool. Great minifigure, great Lego minifigure. But moving on, sort of his partner in crime nowadays, Bo-Katan Kryze, which I've always loved her because she was first introduced in the Clone Wars animated series. And again, some people say this is the best Bo-Katan Lego minifigure of all time, and I think I'd agree. There's not many, but again, this is just the printing on this one is fantastic. She actually comes with a hairpiece, so you could take the helmet off, which is very cool. I don't have it lying around now, but this is an older set, so it's not like you haven't seen this before. And honestly, Mandalorians look cooler in the full gear with the helmet on. But even that helmet is just, the printing on it is fantastic. Look at that printing. Arm printing, so nice. The Night Owl logo there. Grappling hook, just like Din Djarin. It's just a great figure. That's why these, I really do. I think these are some of Lego's best official minifigures of all time, detail and printing wise. And I'm just happy to have her finally because, again, I've always loved her since she was first introduced in the Clone Wars. And definitely going to be seeing a lot more of these two. And I have this guy back here because he's actually, I've said this in other videos, this was my first Din Djarin minifigure, and he's a custom minifigure. And as customs go, no arm printing, but this is a great custom figure. The torso is really nice. The legs are fantastic. I actually might like the legs on the custom one better than the official Lego one, but other than that, I gotta say, Legos blows him out of the water. Back print, that's why I said the legs are the only thing that might be better. Other than that, official Lego minifigure is way better. The helmet is kind of cool, but I might like the official Lego one better, but still a really great custom figure, and I thought he was worth putting in here because he is a Mandalorian minifigure. But again, like I said, I think these are some of Lego's best minifigures, some of Lego's best Star Wars minifigures, print-wise and detail-wise of all time, and I'm just so happy to have them. But with that being said, let's move on to some even more Mandalorians. Alright, moving on to the Lego Death Watch Mandalorian minifigures. Now, these, other than Boba Fett, were some of the first Mandalorian Lego minifigures that they ever made, and they came out in the Clone Wars era of Lego sets, obviously because they show up in the Clone Wars animated series. And honestly, the Death Watch storylines are some of the best storylines in all of Star Wars, and some of my favorite Clone Wars episodes ever, and some of the darkest ever. that's why I love these figures so much. I loved them as a little kid. But to begin, we'll go with my most complete one here. Again, these are some of the first, other than Boba Fett, these are some of the first non-Boba Fett Mandalorian minifigures that Lego ever made. Death Watch traditionally dressed in these blue suits with the gray helmets and gray armor. And they just look so cool. And they made a battle pack for them too, which was nice because in the series there's so many Death Watch Mandalorians, and it's just nice that I got 2 of these battle packs, so it's nice I got to build a little army of them. Gray jetpacks, obviously. The helmets were ahead of their time back then. This is why Din Djarin and Bo-Katan have the helmets they have today, because these Mandalorian minifigures, and they came with this Mandalorian head. Most of them had the same one. No printing on the legs or arms. There's printing on the back, but obviously he's wearing a jetpack. But again, just a clean, sleek-looking Death Watch Mandalorian minifigure. But moving on, we have some individuality here. This guy, when I was younger, I used to just call Bloodsport because he had a red arm, and there's some blood on him because, as you know, red is very hard to get off Lego minifigures. But it's all good because he looks pretty cool, and it gives him some individuality. And Mandalorians have, as you could see, he's very beat up and gets down and dirty. But Mandalorians all have different types of colored armor on them anyway, so I really don't see a problem with it. And he's another named Mandalorian character I could have, but that's Bloodsport. Other than how scarred up he is and the red arm, not much different from the other Death Watch Mandalorian figure I just showed you. Gray jetpack, obviously. But moving on. These two I used one jetpack and I lost one gray jetpack, so that's why they have none. But I think of them as like sort of ground soldiers, Death Watch ground soldiers. Nothing different at all. There's actually no back printing, so I was wrong. So no need to lift the jetpack off of them. But again, I just love that I have so many of these Death Watch minifigures. This one I sort of have as my like Death Watch sniper. He doesn't have a jetpack because he just sits in one position and snipes with this heavy custom gun here. And again, no difference at all from the one I just showed you. And yeah, and then you go, oh, who is this back here? He's actually not a Death Watch Mandalorian. When I was younger, I made this guy because I love clones. He's actually a clone who becomes a Mandalorian. And he has the custom, this is from Ninjago, this piece, but it looks just so good with him because obviously it allows him to put his samurai sword away and use a blaster or his fist. He also has a custom-made cape, which just looks so great. And this torso is the Senate Guard torso, and I just think it works so good with the Death Watch helmet. And he's always been one of my favorite custom characters ever. You could tell the crew is official Boba Fett, Dark Clone Boba Fett, Clone Mandalorian, and Din Djarin and Bo-Katan. That is my little Mandalorian crew that I used to have in my own storylines. But just a cool, unique figure, obviously, because he's a clone who turns into a Mandalorian. But that is that for this section of the review. Let's go to the final lineup. Okay, the final lineup. Oh, I know you're asking, who's that in the back over there? He looks kind of familiar, but we don't know who he is. Well, let me tell you, this is the last part of the review. This is... Oh! His head almost came off. But, oh, don't lose your head. Oh, it's Joe Clone himself. This was actually... Before I got the Microfighter Boba Fett helmet, this is actually Joe Clone's, I shouldn't say, yeah, or I should, but this is my own personal minifigure. This was his first outfit he had before I gave him the Joe Clone outfit that we know and love today. And obviously it's still awesome looking. I use the Endor Rebel torso, which is one of the best torsos that I've use to make a custom figure. And you can see like he has the paint wearing off him and stuff, but this is like this was Joe Clone's minifigure's first outfit. So then I got the Boba Fett microfighter helmet, and I was like, it matches perfectly with it. So this is Joe Clone's Mandalorian outfit, and I just think it looks so cool. Not cooler than his clone outfit, but it's still just awesome, and especially awesome for me personally because this was my minifigure's own personal outfit before I even had the helmet. So just a nice little touch there, as you know. I love my custom minifigures. But with that being said, this was my Lego Mandalorian minifigure collection review. I hope to get more of these in the future. I know there's some a new Mandalorian battle pack coming this summer, so I'm definitely gonna try and snag that so I could build up my Mandalorian ranks. And as you know, my closing quote is actually perfect for this the theme of this video because it's Jango Fett, Boba Fett's father's quote. But as you know, I'm just a simple man trying to make my way in the universe. And I thank you for joining me on the journey. That's a review. God, I love how that works so good for this video. But that's a review. I'll see you in the next one, and peace.